Warmest blessings, everyone. This is Mastershamanpalichee. How are you all doing today? Warmest blessings. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button as we go through our whatever we're going to talk about today, right? So, a couple of things today we are going to discuss. Especially knowing the etiquette to get you out of trouble. And I'll explain more about what that means, really. But right now, whoever is watching right now, go down or go to the side there to type in the chat where you're watching from and kind of where are you at on your spiritual journey. Are you just at the beginning? Have you been in your spiritual journey for a couple of years, or has it been 10 to 20 years? I know there's tons of people that has been on their spiritual journey for quite some time, and they are still gathering themselves together to try to still be on that journey. No matter what happens in their lives, they could have gone through grief, a lot of grief for some that I know anyways. They've gone through several of exchanges as in friends and family, so changing up and or disconnecting from ones that aren't doesn't really connect or synchronize with them anymore. So there's been lots of changes for those that has been on the spiritual journey. Myself also within the last 10 years have been on my shamanic journey still. No matter what level that you are at, whether you're at the very beginning, the middle, like intermediate or advanced or master, grandmaster level, you are always learning. You are always on the spiritual journey and still learning, right? No matter what. So, welcome, 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 Kashia. Wow, she's from Michigan. Warm blessings. Um, chime in, whoever's watching. I know there's a couple of you out there, or I don't know how many exactly. I see a number, but I think that number is lagging. So go out there and chat on the side. Let us know where you're coming from, kind of where you are at on your spiritual journey, whether it's basic, intermediate, or you think that you're at the advanced level. Doesn't matter. We always learn at whatever level that we are at. So today, some interesting things that I have for you. But first, I want to let you know, if you haven't been on this channel before and watching me, I'm Mastershamanpalichee, and I help people to 11x their spiritual journey so that they can get boosted and get there quicker into their shamanic path or their unique healer path. Whether you're meant to be a shaman, some people say, you know, I feel like I was meant to be a shaman, or I went to this other shaman lady, or I went to this other shaman guy, and they told me that I was supposed to be a shaman, but I don't feel it. I don't know. I'm just not sure, right? I want to tell all of you that just because someone tells you that you may become a shaman doesn't mean that you are meant to be a shaman, though it may mean that you have spirit guides. And it may mean that you have special abilities that you may still need to uncover or discover. In all essence, you are meant to do some kind of healing for yourself and then learn from that and then move on to healing other people. And these other people could be people that have similarities, as in similar situations that you've gone through, similar traumas that you've been through, and that you're going to go back someday to help these people. And that's just all what it means when they say, oh, you're about to be a shaman or you have spirit guides. Some people get super excited about that, or some people get super worried about it, or have anxiety about it. And I want to tell all of you that don't worry. It just literally means what I just said here. If you're watching and you get to go back, it's going to be out there, this video. So go back and listen to what I just said, because it just means that exactly, that you're going to need to help and heal yourself. You're going to have some guidance along the way, and there's going to be a time when you're going to need to help other people, and there's going to be a calling for you to helping other people, whether you like it or not, okay? Because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it inside that you're not getting what you need to done, and you're going to avoid every angle that you can for some of you, and you're going to come right back to that center point where you belong, where you actually originally started in your shamanic journey. So if you don't, go into it right away, that's not going to be a big problem. If you feel like your spirit guides are dragging you there and you have to become this shaman or unique healer, because that's going to be the part where if you're feeling that you're getting dragged in, that's going to be a big, whether you choose or you're feeling like you're called, it's a choice that you're going to make. And this choice is something that is going to either get you there faster or actually lag for you. And usually it lags for you in other areas of your life. Okay. So if you're wondering, why haven't I gotten this certain career going? Or why haven't I met this certain person? There's something there that is in your spiritual journey that you are still going to meet or going to cross paths with, and you haven't yet because you haven't chosen to yet, or it hasn't called you or urged you enough yet. So being willing to listen, being willing to let things go and just let it flow. So don't resist it too much. I know some of you will resist it and have resisted, But if you continue to resist it, it will continue to even get more tighter as you grow older. Okay. So I help people to 11x your spiritual journeys, your shamanic path, or your unique healer path to get you to become the person or healer for yourself. And then on a certain day in the future, when that happens and you've gone through enough and you've learned what you needed to learn, you will eventually start to open up yourself to healing others. And so, in saying that, I also do healings for people in any matter. And when I say any matter, I've gone through the any matter from fertility to headaches to COVID to certain illnesses, pre-cancer people. So many things to emotional, mental illnesses, and of course, the shamanic path. As a quick reminder, I wanted to let you guys all know that I am giving one card pulls for subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go out there and subscribe and hit that notification button when we are out here so that you'll know and that you'll join us and support the channel. It's just a little favor for and a one click away. It doesn't take much strength from you or and it's free, right? And it's nothing crazy that you have to do. So if you can kindly help us out, that would be great. I will also be doing a 3-card pull drawing. So a 3-card pull drawing for someone, a lucky winner that has shared this post on Facebook or anywhere else. I'll just trust you. If you come and say, hey, I've shared, I'm going to put your name down for the 3-card pull. I'm just going to trust that you are honest and you hold your integrity because that's where I come from and that's how I do my lives and anything else that I do. So if you've shared, if you've liked the post on Facebook or YouTube, please come out and say that you've shared and liked and that you would like to be in on the drawing. And at the same time, if you have subscribed, then let me know if you want to get a free card pull today. And I'll get to as many as I can within the hour here. All right. So if you haven't subscribed, go do so for me. It's just a quick click away. And that will help the channel out. So thank you for some of those that are out there. Kashia Cheng says she shared. Wally or Walter East Lowick here is from Elmwood Park, Illinois, and am humble disciple of Palithi of Mastershamanpalichee here, so myself. So thank you, Wally, for being on as well. We have Molly Vang from California. Welcome, Molly. And so many on as well. So I'm going to just go into what we're going to talk about today right now. So today we're going to do a chat and I want you guys to chime in whenever you'd like to. You know, I used to call this show the lives Ask Mastershamanpalichee. Well, it's still Ask Mastershamanpalichee. If you're going through some hoops right now in your life, if you're headed towards something that it's the unknown and you have no idea what's going to be happening, or that you are in a relationship and you are just feeling down and just devastated, or you're going through some grief, whatever it is that may be that you are going through right now that is holding you back from something, come out here and ask. It's a one question away, and I'll be willing to answer whatever I can. Okay? So I want to keep this channel and this live safe, balanced, and aligned. And I come out here from that viewpoint, from that corner, and I want it to stay that way, right? So we're going to be talking about the spiritual etiquette, or just the etiquette in general, of an awareness in respecting oneself and respecting others, and conducting yourself in a way that feels right to you. And when it feels right to you, now sometimes doesn't necessarily means it's right to someone else, but it will be right to someone else if it truly and genuinely feels right to you. So let's talk about that a little bit. So in the definition of spiritual etiquette, it's how do you become as a person? How are you to act or be as a person so that the spiritual path or even the life path can be a bit more, how do I say this? You could be out of trouble's way, right? Or out of harm's way, we shall say. Because every time there's trouble, there's some kind of harm that either was done before or will be done after. So the etiquette of this spiritual path is, it's not about rigid rules. It's not about these strict rules that you must align yourself with. It's not about, you know, a strict rule about respect or always being aware of something, always balancing. We know very well that balancing is maybe not always the case that's going to be perfect balanced as a person or in life. But we know that we can get to a balance as much as we can, right? So something that the spiritual etiquette is something that creates harmony in yourself, in others, and also in the spiritual realm, right? In the spiritual worlds or dimensions that revolves around you as you live on an everyday life basis. For example, you may need to honor the guides. You may need to honor your parents in some way, shape, or form. If you haven't done that, for those of you that are listening and you have parents that are still alive and you haven't honored them in some way, shape, or form, you may need to do that out of your genuine ways. And then show humility to people that are helpers to you, people that have supported you, people that have helped you in any way, shape, or form. Go back to helping them. Go back to reciprocating some of that, right? So these are just some examples of the etiquette that a human being or humankind needs to come back to if they aren't doing it on a daily basis. It could go as simple as being willing to lend a hand whenever another person is in need of a hand. And even if they're not in need of a hand and they look like they are, right? There's indication, then are you going to be willing to just go open that door for them? Are you going to be willing to just go and, for example, your parents are making dinner. Are you willing to go and just lend a hand or go and wipe the dishes? Something so simple like this, or pick up, your own thing. And if you pick up your own things, like your own, like say, for example, you're walking down the street, you've dropped a napkin, you're going to pick it up. And that's an etiquette right there. The action of you picking up that napkin and throwing it away is an etiquette. And that small piece of action will help you tremendously along the spiritual path, along your spirituality, whatever spirituality that may be. If you believe in God, yes, I will say his name, then that is going to help you along the way, because that is of your creation. You are of it. And so, because why do I say this? Some people may say, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to deep troubles, when it comes down to when you are super hurt, no one can see you, no one knows that you are hurt inside. But you know that you are. Who can you not hide away from? Who can you not deny from? You cannot deny that you're going to call on either mom, dad, or God to help you. The sky, the universe, whatever you may call it, it's still the same energy. So this is spiritual etiquette, right? We're talking about spiritual etiquette. Knowing how to be, knowing how to behave. And you may not know all the rules, and nobody does. But something goes to the golden rules, right? Something like the golden rules or the laws of the universe, right? The laws of the universe says this, this, and this, and this. And it can say the same thing or totally different things to people. But essentially, whether you word it a different way or another, it's still going to be the same idea. These spiritual laws. I can say it this way. The person B may say it a totally different way, but essentially it means, and it is essentially the same. So once you start to feel good, and when you do something like an action, and you follow an etiquette, just through your heart's mind, or your heart's soul, right? Through your mind, your heart, your soul, then you start to feel this harmony within yourself, and that the other person that you are bringing this action towards feels also good. And by feeling this, by knowing this through your own intuition, or just feeling this, knowing this, then you are also knowing the etiquette. Once you feel there's harmony. Now, when you feel there's disharmony, then there's an etiquette that is not being met, or it can be something of within that etiquette that you have done in the action that doesn't feel quite right. And when it doesn't feel quite right, that spiritual etiquette either has been broken or is not quite what it should be. So there's something that has to be corrected. And when you have to correct it, that means you know that perhaps you did not act or be in a way that made you feel like you were in harmony with yourself, and that you were in harmony with another person. So why does this matter? For those of you that's been listening, why do you think that etiquette matters? Like knowing how to be, knowing how to act when you are in certain crowds of people, when you are talking one-on-one with another person, when you are maybe in the presence of your spirit guides for some of you. Or maybe it doesn't have to be with spirit guides at all. Maybe it could be with you and your teacher, you and your parents, you and your siblings. Why does etiquette matter so much? Why is it important? For those of you that are here, and whoever is going to be listening, etiquette matters because it brings you some kind of protection. When you are knowing how to be in harmony, and it feels good between you and another person, or you and another group, or you and your spirit guides, right? Then this etiquette is something that is actually unseen, and that's keeping you safe. It's keeping you protected from trouble. Once you feel harmony between you and another person, and you've just had a chat or some kind of discussion, it could be just casual, but then you feel good about it as you left the conversation. So someone had a genuine etiquette there, and someone said some things that was, meaningful or intakeable. When you say something or you act in a way that doesn't have etiquette, and you want to be just whatever you want to be, but you know that you're being a bit stubborn, then that's going to break the protection, and then it's going to also lead you to feeling disharmony. And then now you got to go back to your subconsciousness, to the conscious part of you, to say, hey, something didn't feel right in that. Whether the person talked to you and you didn't feel good about it because they were maybe saying something that wasn't true, or you may have said something to them that wasn't in the etiquette as well, or you may have done something that wasn't in the etiquette, right? So then this also breaks that harmony up. So this is why it's important to hold etiquette as a matter of fact for you to work on. Okay, it also brings respect. It helps to build trusting connections with yourself, with others. If you have etiquette, others do similarly respect you, because then you're acting in a way where you
are bringing respect to them. And so there's no doubt that someone's going to respect you when you do that and you bring that etiquette. Now, if someone has no etiquette, should you have etiquette? That's going to be another question. I know it, right? If someone's acting disrespectful to you, should you also act disrespectful to them and reciprocate that? I'll say that logically you can act disrespectful to them, but you come back again to then pay respects. Why? Because they have given you some lesson, because they have also given you um, a meaningful conversation, whether you felt it was wasted or not, because that has also brought you to realize something as well, whether it's about the person or whether it's about yourself. But then you also cannot play that blame game as well, right? If that happens, for example. So, etiquette matters because it builds respect for yourself and trust for other people, trust for your spirit guides. If you were to do that, if you were to learn the etiquette and be disciplined in that, I'm not saying that everything and everyone is perfect, right? There's going to be emotions that are running as you are doing these etiquette actions, right? Actions in etiquette. So it's not going to be perfect, but if you can get as close as you can, then you could stay and or bring yourself out of trouble. Um, it also helps with balance, balancing the ego, balancing your pride. It leads you to not misuse your spiritual gifts and abilities, or even your talents that you have, or your skills that you have acquired, right? Or skills that you naturally have. Also, it will balance out somehow or some way any disrespecting energies that may be in the way. It also will bring clarity and clearing basically the paths or clearing the conversation, clearing the communication, right? To make it stronger for you to know what it is that you are truly trying to say or trying to do. So, etiquette matters a ton. Um, if you know right now that you have a lack of etiquette, then you need to kind of go back into your heart's mind and think about why you had lacked this etiquette. Because maybe you have gotten yourself into trouble certain times, or people may have felt offended because of whatever you have done or said. And go back to replaying that scene in your head and seeing why this person acted the way they did, or why this person was the way they were to you. And sometimes, I'll give you a quick example. Sometimes, if a kid saw their parents arguing, that child is now not going to be respectful to the parents after, I don't know, 10 times of watching the parents argue. They're not going to pay respects to the parents much. They may still have some respect because they are a child, but once this child grows up, will they pay respects to their parents? And that may be a problem and a trauma for this child, right? So, and this child may carry this trauma till who knows when. And so, if the parents at an older age and the child is at an older age, do you believe that this child is going to pay respect to the parents as they should when they've heard their parents arguing like 10, whatever, 10 to 100 times when they were young, right? And it's very dysfunctional at that point. And the child doesn't want to, being like a young adult, doesn't want to respect the parents, wants to rebel, wants to go out with their friends late nights or whatever, wants to do whatever they want to, just because they heard and kept having to emotionally deal with their parents' arguments. So that's the kind of thing that will traumatize a child to not have etiquette anymore. Even if they had to learn it when they were young, even if they were forced and disciplined, they will not be at that mindset due to the trauma that they have already seen their parents not in etiquette, supposedly, when they were arguing and yelling at each other. So that's why etiquette was not with that child, or will not be with that child once that child turns into an adult. That is also one of the common problems and or troubles that I've seen for people not really having full etiquette, because they see this, they see that, and then they will register in their head that, oh, because I saw this, I don't have to respect this person anymore. Because I saw this person argue and yell, I'm not going to respect them anymore. Because I saw this person angry, I'm not going to respect them anymore. But that is, you have to come back and know the etiquette, know that were they angry due to whatever reason? What was the intent, right? Were they in the right? Were they in the wrong? Is there a right? Is there a wrong? Were they learning a lesson? Did they learn a lesson? Or are they in, after 10, 20 years, are they still learning a lesson? And then you, as the person, the child, for example, if you are the child, then you must be willing to forgive and not hold that against them to disrespect them. At that point, right, if you're disrespecting them, then you wouldn't be in full etiquette, because then you're not really playing the role that you should be, or being in who you should be, as in genuinely just respecting them because they were your parents, if you are that child, right? At the same time, the parents at that point, they're not going to respect that child, because why? They were angry at each other. So now they were arguing back and forth, and then showing no etiquette at that point, because they're trying to make a stand, their own stand, right? For who was right and who was wrong. From the child's point of view, it's going to look like they're just arguing back and forth. And they're not in that argument, so they may have been listening on the side and don't know what the root cause was for the argument. So sometimes you must come back to clarity, come back to balance, come back to respecting and trusting yourself, so that others can also respect you. Then you can also be willing to play by the golden rules, or the universal laws of the universe, right? The universal laws, so that you can actually be in etiquette and get out of trouble in the future. So, what are some of the practical steps to practice spiritual etiquette? Some things that you could begin with is humility, or even having compassion, right? A simple daily practice, as always saying thank you for something that you get or that you gain. If you always say thank you, and I said this to one of my disciples the other day, you can now say thank you to the spirit guides, right? Or thank you to the universe, or thank you to Falithi. Why? Because if you say thank you genuinely, and sometimes you may have to practice, for those of you that have never really said thank you when you should have said thank you, right? But because you're not used to saying thank you and no one taught you that, then you feel as though you don't have to thank somebody for something, or you don't remember to thank somebody for something, or it feels awkward to thank them, and you actually feel maybe ashamed or shy to thank somebody. That could happen. So if you practice saying thank you for something that you really truly do feel thankful for, then do so. Don't hesitate on it and feel like you want to say it, but then you feel like you're afraid to say thank you. Some of you guys may have felt afraid to really say thank you to someone that had helped you. And then later you're like, oh, I really should have thanked that person because they did this and this for me. And I feel so like lucky to have that happen. But you didn't say so. That person didn't know. And sometimes the person doesn't really know, the other party, right? But it's good for you to have that practice. It's good for you to just be in your humility. And then also you should ask permission for certain things in life, right? Ask permission before getting a reading. That could be a simple thing, right? Before you can, you know, help somebody, ask permission, be blunt about it, right? Just asking permission. Sometimes we often just want to just hurry up and help people or hurry up and just do something um, without really stopping to pause and say, oh, should I ask permission from this person or this, whatever the situation may be? And then cleanse and respect yourself, whatever you may have in the home. It could be like, the cup that you drink out of every day. You can cleanse that, right? You can cleanse that, or you can have a cleansing intent towards that. You can cleanse things around, so that these are just practical steps so that you can have the spiritual etiquette, that you are wanting to stay in this good vibration, um, this good energy, right? So then be mindful also of your words, the words that you say to others, the words that you even say in your head, the words that are spoken can carry certain intentions and then certain energy, and it may not be exactly what you really wanted to say because you just blurted it out. You just happened to have said it because the emotions got to you. If you have done that before, obviously, probably every 99% of the whole world has done this, right? Then you go back and you correct it. You correct yourself, whether in your mind, in your heart, with God, the universe. You go back and correct it if you had said what you didn't really mean. That's also a spiritual etiquette. That's an etiquette, that is an action that you know that you were in the wrong at one point, or that you said something, maybe it was overly too harsh, and you need to go and correct that. Then go and do that, and go and apologize, or go and just face that, so that it doesn't look like you're denying that you were wrong. It looks like you are actually, and it is that you're actually saying that, oh, I was probably wrong to say this, but now I really do mean this instead. So be mindful, and then know when to step back, right? Know when to step back and know when to step forward, as in standing up for yourself. And sometimes standing up for yourself could look like you're angry, could look like you're making an argument. You may have a harsh voice, a tone of voice, right? You may have harsh language, but try to be as unharsh or not harsh as possible, right? And when you know that you are, then you go back and you become you again. You go be you again, and then you correct that again, that action. That shows that you have etiquette, that you know what's right from what's wrong, what's high from what's low, right? Um, Also, practicing patience is one thing. Don't rush spiritual elevation, right? Don't rush this, like trying to hurry up and elevate. Don't rush trying to hurry up and do something that you know may be in the wrong. There's that too. So don't rush something. Be patient, but at the same time be diligent and up and going on it as well. So I know it's just me talking here, but go out there and let me know, what do you think about spiritual etiquette or etiquette in general in life? Have you gotten in trouble by not knowing the etiquette? So, for example, if your heart wanted to approach like your mom or dad, like a parent, about a situation that you got yourself in trouble, right? So, for example, how can I think of an example here? So, let's say, for example, I'm just going to make up a name, Alicia, right? Alicia went out with her boyfriend. She stayed out too late, and then she later found out that she may be pregnant. How can she approach her parents with etiquette without getting in trouble? It's impossible almost, because then the original or the root cause was already caused. The etiquette of just knowing where she was in the right or wrong, or in the clear or unclear, right? The harmony part was already off when it wasn't, when she went out later than her curfew, or when she also went above and beyond the line of being pregnant. So in that specific example, she's going to have a tough time to approaching her parents about the news, right? So that might be an issue. And that's going to get her more in trouble. She's already done step 1, 2, and then now 3. So she's already clicked all the check marks that's going to get her in trouble. So it's going to be impossible almost, unless her parents don't mind, that she will get in trouble. So this is what I'm talking about. If you have a child and you're trying to teach them some kind of etiquette or some kind of behavioral knowing, then you'll need to almost kind of draw the boundaries, right? Say, this is the boundary, this is what it is. You almost have to teach this child from day one. And the child can't almost see trauma. It's going to be impossible, because our lives will have trauma here and there, and where we don't even see and know. And this could have already traumatized the child. So then with some kind of trauma, they will then disrespect some things or someone or some kind of in some kind of situation. And it will be very hard to bring them back to etiquette unless they go on the spiritual journey. And that's also why etiquette is so important, because it guides harmony in your life. And that is also why we are being called as a universal consciousness to come back to ourselves, to come back and learn this etiquette. If we don't learn the etiquette, and for some of us know more etiquette than others, right? So we have a bigger percentage of not getting in trouble than others who don't know the etiquette and will get in trouble regardless. So you have two spectrums, right? And then some of us are in the middle, where we kind of do things the right way, but then we kind of don't, right? So that's going to get us in trouble still at one point or another. So practicing and being diligent in practicing your etiquette and knowing what is right from wrong, knowing what is high from low, right? In Hmong we say, "Ne yo chu po kha she kha qi," right? "Kha ya kha chi ya." "Ye ni chi po kha she kha qi, kha ya kha chi ya." "Ye y nu tu ne yin yo chou tai meng su su." And as long as you don't get framed too, right? Because that happens as well with friends or, others that you hang out with. You could get framed for not knowing that you did something, not knowing that you did something wrong, right? When you saying that you did something wrong when you didn't do something wrong, being framed by someone. So etiquette guides harmony in your life. That's why your spirit guides, for those of you that are on the spiritual journey, your spirit guides are here to teach you plainly how to be the way to be in this lifetime. And then so that you can come back in another lifetime even more intelligent in that body, in the soul that's going to be coming down to that body in the next lifetime. So be willing to accept your spiritual guides. Be willing to accept your spiritual journey or your shamanic journey or your unique healer journey when it's coming to you, when you feel the desire to do so. They're letting you know that, hey, you didn't know the etiquette at this point, at that point, and this point, right? Along the line here, along your life, this timeline, it's time for you to get back on track into where you need to be so that you can know the etiquette of how to be, so that you don't hit so many or so much trouble, or in fact, I'll call it so much karma, right? Karma. um, conducting yourself in the right way that feels right to you. Now, it has to genuinely feel right. It can't be right as in it's right because you deserve it to be right. It can't be just right because you felt or think that someone else did something to you that was unjust. It literally has to be correct, not just right, right? It needs to be correct. It needs to be in a way where you feel harmony towards it. It wouldn't be correct or right if you feel still disharmony towards the situation. So there's something there that you must take action on, even if the other person doesn't take action on. You must try to take action upon that situation to build the harmony back again. So shifting your energy towards etiquette, towards learning this etiquette, being willing to learn. The more that you are willing to learn etiquette and discipline yourself, the more that you will stay out of trouble and stay out of harm's way, as in karmic harm. Okay. Uh, and just it will naturally open up more opportunities for growth, especially spiritual growth as well. So that's very important as well. All right. If you have questions, write them down. I hope I'm not boring you guys. um, so, in closing and just reflecting upon this conversation or this discussion, etiquette is sort of like the unseen key that protects, elevates, and aligns a person with who they truly need to be and who they truly want to be. Because in your mind, you see yourself as a one person, a certain character that's in your mind about you. But in a third person's viewpoint, you may be a totally different person to them. So something is not synchronizing, something is not in harmony, if that's the case. So our whole lives, we are in this sort of constant battle of trying to be heard. Because we don't feel heard, then we are not, then we feel as though we are invisible. So if we were to utilize the laws of the universe and know the etiquette better, know our etiquette better, know how to be, know how to act when certain situations arise. Lend your hand, be more humble when and have compassion for those that maybe don't have what you have, or those that are, running high on whatever they're doing, as in like maybe they are going through a hardship. Have compassion for them, whether it's a small or big thing that they're going through. And no one sees this except God, except the universe. The more that you have compassion for others, the more humility that you have, you will be blessed with whatever it is that God will bless you with. Whatever it is that the universe will bring for you or bring to you, you will be blessed with that peace. And sometimes we may say, oh, I think this person over here is so super nice, but how come this and this happens to them? Not as in like bad things, but as in maybe some things in their life, right? It could be that they are genuinely compassionate, they do genuinely have humility. But there's also this other thing, this other law, right? That affects them, that is affected upon them due to them being so nice, so, modest and passive, that it also, whatever it is that's negative, also can also hit them, even though they have that etiquette. So it's this balance that you try to be within as much as you can. You're not going to be perfect, but you can be within this sort of like this space of being as balanced as you can with it. Because being too modest, too passive can also hurt a person. So, for example, the guy that is nice to everybody and doesn't want to bother anybody, but then gets bullied, like this type of situation, right? For example, and then he gets beat up and hurt and scars on his face and everything. For what? Being by himself, being nice to people and not really, more introverted, right? But then he gets bullied. So he got to carry or got affected by this bully's trauma. Do you see that? So it's not always the person that's doing the etiquette that's going to get all the good things in life. They will also get the lessons too, to stand up for themselves. And sometimes they need to be angry because maybe they haven't been for such a long time because they just didn't care to be. So going into the center as much as you can, or as close as you can to balance, is also the key. But if you are on the other spectrum that you aren't doing etiquette and you kind of are like, I don't know if I really should do this and that, and it may, I don't know what to do, then that's going to affect, but it's not going to be a big effect, but it'd be a small effect, right? I'm talking about those that really don't know etiquette at all, like very minimal, maybe 10% of their life, right, is on etiquette. So let's move on. Let's move on. I'm going to take a look and see on who has shared so far and throw them into the drawing. So if you have shared and you're watching, please type down that you have shared for me so that I can add your name in. Otherwise, then I'm just going to give it to someone if there isn't much participation. All right. So I'm going to give it to Kashia because you wrote that you have subscribed and shared. I didn't see anybody else write me. So unless I missed something, then I'm just going to say it's Kashia that wins the 3-card pull. All right. And then we're going to head on to, let's see here. We're going to head on to a 3-card pull that was a paid card pull for my Shang. Okay. All right. So let's do this. If you guys want a 1-card pull, then type it in, and we'll try to get to everyone as fast as we can here. But I do need to jump off as soon as I can here when the hour ends. So Kashia, I'm going to do this drawing. You are the winner. So congratulations, Kashia, and 3-card pull for you. And then we're gonna go to my show. All right. So let's do this. I hope that you guys enjoyed some of the talk today on etiquette and how that affects your spirituality, how that also affects your life. I hope that you got some gold nuggets from that. And if you did, it'd be nice to have you chime in and say how that went for you. All right. Oh, okay. Right when I said that, I've shared and subscribed. Okay. So where did you share it to? You're welcome, just CR33. Let me know when where you shared and where you shared to. Was it Facebook or YouTube? Or I don't know how you share on YouTube. It's usually Facebook. I'm looking at my posts here, and You know, next time, if I could just have you guys take a screenshot and post it, that'd be great. Kashia, and I'm not sure where you guys shared at, but I don't see it. All right, so just CR33. I'm not sure where you shared. So can you guys show me where you shared Kashia as well? It should have been the posting from either yesterday on my Facebook or the one day ago, the update. The post that says update with my picture on there that I was going to go live. So you guys have to share those two ones. All right. Let me know where you shared it. Facebook. You're welcome, Wally or Walter. Says, thank you for the wisdom shared today. Warmest blessings. Yes, warmest blessings. All right. Oh, I thought we were talking about this message. Yep. Go share and like the Facebook post. All right. I'm going to give it to Kashia Cheng since she is, I already had said that, so we were doing that already. So let's go do this. And you're welcome, just CR33. All right, Kashia, this is for you. I have to jump off, so. All right, so Kashia, we have this for you. I don't know if you can see. So right now there is, this is for Kashia. There's some kind of a deep, feels like a deep misunderstanding of the self, or a need for clarity. I'll say it that way. A need for clarity in your life choices when it comes to relationship. It's also connected to your spirituality at the same time, but mostly on this relationship with the self, on the relationship with connecting back to really where you started from, Kashia. And there's a need to go back to the basics for you right now, especially in the month of August. I'm also seeing that there was or is currently some kind of disagreement or closed door when it comes to relationships. And this also goes into like a love relationship along with family or intermediate family. Right now, I want you to know, though, that the positive part is there is luck that is on your side. So there's some new things flowing into your energy as we speak here. And there will be some kind of change that's coming up, but you must be willing to say yes to this change. And you must be willing to say that you're going to connect with yourself again, that you're willing to move forward again. Sometimes you want to be independent of everything, like as in anyone that's giving you suggestions, but you may have to open up yourself to listening to new suggestions that are coming in, especially within the next 2 weeks here. Okay. Spiritually, I also feel that the part of your soul feels lost, a bit lost, as in there is a blee. Okay, so like a spirit of your soul that is, especially when it comes to the heart part of you or the heart soul, it feels a bit lost in not really knowing what to decide going forward as a living situation. um Specifically that, and how you will carry yourself there. It almost feels like there's some sort of a disconnection between you and your loved ones. And it seems like there's a need to come back. And I feel that that luck will start to push you back into where you need to be, because it feels like there's disharmony, as we were just talking about disharmony and etiquette. It feels like there's some kind of disharmony and the need to go back to correcting something, okay? And it's not just you, but it's both sides, but one side needs to be willing to do it first. So if you are more in humility than the other side, then you may need to start that first, okay? Or initiate it at least. There's also a part of you that feels wavering or not really clear on your career as well, but that's only because that you're in this area or space right now where your headspace is not clear on how you can move forward with what you've got right now. So I want to tell you that there is good things coming your way, but you'll need to be willing to say, I'm ready to open up myself to correcting whatever it is that I need to correct, okay? I hope that makes some sense for you, Kashia. But your spirit of the soul feels very down right now, and it feels like it needs a picker upper. So, like a soul calling or some kind of cleansing and healing to remove whatever that situation was, to not keep holding you back. Because each time, it feels like every time or every day, there's always this feeling of tutushia, okay, meaning that you are like feeling super sad, okay, due to spirituality and due to not being supported in a certain way that you thought that you should have been supported somehow, some way. So that is the reading for you, Kashia. I hope that made some sense to you. Okay. All right. I don't see any asks for one card pulls. So if nobody wants a card pull, then I'm going to if you do, then we'll do it in a bit right after this one. So I'm going to be doing the card reading for Mai Shang. All right. All right, Mai Shang, this is for you. 3-card pull reading. All right, here we go, Mai Shang. Thank you so much, Mai Shang, for donating. And pulling up 3 cards here. And she had requested it to be more so on relationships. So here we go. Okay, so we got these cards for you, Mai Shang. I don't know if you can see them. So some very interesting things happening here. It almost feels like you are where you initially wanted to be right now, as in feeling like a little bit lucky, feeling blessed, feeling like you're in the good, like in the good luck energies. It feels as though you aren't very worried too much in regards to the relationship, though you are very worried how it will be going and how it can like the outcome of it. But right now you're not too worried about where you're at. Love seems to be right in your lap, I want to say. It's right in your lap. It's where you want it to be, and it feels very, you and this other person feels very close, like closer. It feels very connected again. There's like some sort of a cheery, go lucky feeling that both of you are kind of vibing and or exchanging towards one another. Some flirting happening. It's getting into a more romantic and deeper romantic stage as we are looking into this here for you. And the energy here feels as though very high, like from a 0 to 10, you're at about like a 9, 10 on being pretty happy and joyful right now. The other person's energy feels from a 0 to 10 about a I would say about a 7 to 10 at times, from time to time. Not because of you, but because of things that are happening or decisions that they feel like they may need to make in the future. The only other thing that is showing up here is that could be of a negativity or maybe a little bit of a distracting energy is your work, the work or career area. Okay. There it feels like the either the boss itself or the place itself feels very negative, feels very I don't want to say micromanaging, like they're on you like a hawk. um and it just feels like as if you feel okay about it. It's not like you don't feel like you don't feel like you're gonna quit or anything, but it feels like you would want to gather what you need from this place and then get going again. So there's going to be a little time period there for you to gather what you need, and then you're going to get going again. But all in all, relationship wise, it feels from a 0 to 10, you're on about a 9, 10 overall in your relationship area right now. So I think the only worry about or the only anxiety that you carry with this relationship area is going to be about timing, how and when. And it's going to be about like, what is this resulting to? What is this coming to? So I don't want you to think about that. I want you to think about the present moment right now. Okay. I hope that that makes sense to you, my Xiong. I also want to say that spiritually, you are doing well, and your spirit guides are behind you, and they will be pushing you towards probably a different place of work. In a couple, I'd say maybe it's going to be a couple of months, if anything. All right. Hope that makes sense to you, Mai Shang. All right. If it makes sense to you guys and the reading, if I'm on track or if I am off track, let me know as well. Okay. So, because I wanna make it correct for you as well. I don't want you to go off of this live feeling like as if, oh, I don't know what she really said. Okay. So I want to clarify it here, if anything. One person, Molly Vang, asked for a one card pull, and we're gonna do that. Okay, here we go. Just CR33. I'm not sure if you wanted a reading, but you've shared and subscribed per what you said. You said that you thought you were talking about this message. Yep. I wanted to see where you were sharing that, but if you shared and if you subscribed, I also would like to give you a one card pull if you'd like, but you have to kind of ask that. So, because I want you to be okay with that before I do so. All right, Molly Vang. I'm only saying that just CR33 because I felt that you wanted one. So you can come and say yes or no to that. Molly Vang, this is for you. One card pull. Okay, so Molly, this is the card that we got for you. Hopefully we can see that. Okay. So Molly, I'll say this. On a 0 to 10, your heart is at a high 9, 10 in trying to move your life forward. You are in that energy, okay, of moving forward with your life. But there is a hesitation in more so again thinking about what this will result to. Is this the right thing to do? Is this not the right thing to do? And it feels like it's the right thing to do. It's just that there's another matter that may be involved or distracting. So, but all in all, individually, your own energy feels good right now. And it feels like you're just also into this energy of wanting to get into more spiritual things, more wanting to become more spiritual, so that you can also have the wisdom at your fingertips. you're really wanting this wisdom at your fingertips. So I can feel that very urgefully on you, in you. But with this relationship area that I was seeing in the beginning, I feel like it's also the relationship with yourself, similarly to the relationship with another person. And this person, there's still again this like a situation there that is that's where the hesitation is. But with the relationship with the self, it feels good. It feels trusting, and it feels like you're being urged towards what you feel that is going to get you there, which is your spirituality. Okay, so all right, just CR33. If these readings are making sense for you some way, somehow, please let us know. If you're getting the gold nuggets, please let us know as well. All right. Okay, so just CR33, here we go. Thank you for the gratitude. I appreciate it. We've got the J of Hearts for you. Okay. J of Hearts. Just CR33. Okay. What I'm getting for you is actually I'm gonna say a spirit message. I'm gonna channel one in. Take a slow, deep breath for me. Just CR33. And here we go. Lost the loved one. Hold it in. Blend together from within. Say your prayers from without and let God's light in without a shout. Your love will be known by the person that is willing to receive it, to hold it, and see its significance. Don't worry. Don't blame yourself. Does that make sense for you? Just CR33. Right now, I'm also getting that spiritually, or your spirituality, that you'll need to find some time to meditate and just contemplate. Meditate to observe, to see what is there for you in this spiritual path. You are on the spiritual path, CR33. All right. You've been on for quite some time, but it feels like you want to go deeper into that spiritual journey. All right. Molly Vang says, thank you for the card pull. It's reassuring to hear the messages from you and your spirit team. Thank you so much as well. You're welcome. All right. I'm hoping that everything made sense for all of you, especially Kashia as well. Hope that made some sense for you, Kashia, as well. So I'm going to be going here, and I'm going to pull the last card here because I just feel like I should for the weekend. So last card for the weekend. All right. You're welcome, CR33. Just CR33 says thank you. Made a lot of sense. That spirit message was very interesting. Okay, here we go. Card for the weekend. If you guys are on right now, please share this live to others that you feel that could use spiritual or energy help from myself, and that whatever I'm sharing will help you and will help them as well. So we've got this card here. It's the Bright Future card of Lakshmi. Lakshmi comes to show you the way of love and endurance. So stop worrying. The card literally says, stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. I'm also seeing that there's protection for those of you that are out there and listening. And whatever it is that has brought some kind of hardship, some kind of stoppage, or feeling of dragging you down, I want to tell you that the worriness is away, and that only the beginning is coming to the brighter future, to the brighter things in life. All right. Warmest blessings, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.